Hello, everybody. Today's it's getting warmer after crazy Black Friday shoppings. Now, finally, you got a chance to sitting in your deck and then talking about some tennis. I'm the tennis dude. I played tennis for 25 years. So, these 2 years is pretty stranger for tennis world because, the old man. I mean the big four, which is Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray. We call it Big Four. It's very, very sharp in past 2 years. They all passed the 30s, but they play like a 20 something. They play outstanding. In the last years, 2017, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, two legends, just share 4 Grand Slam and the most part of the important tournament championship. This year is a little bit dramatically, in the first part of seasons, Roger Federer win his 20th Grand Slam and his two straight, the fifth and the 2 straight years Australia Open. Then he come back to the number one. But in the clean seasons, Rafael Nadal performed just like unbelievable. He just lost one match and he win like a 26 match in a row and just lost one match. And he win a lot championship. For example, Monte Carlo, Roma, Barcelona, and also the French Open. So in the autumn seasons, from the grass season, nobody predict, the ranks 22nd, the Novak Djokovic going to rise up, but he is rise up very soon, From the Queen Cups, he just lost to the series, Martin series, with match point. He blew away. Then he showed his fantastic status in the Wimbledon. He beat Rafael Nadal in the semi-final in the Wimbledon and beat the Kevin Anderson in the final of the the Wimbledon and win his 13 Grand Slam championship. Then he began his the undefeated journeys and he win 2 ATP 1000 Master Rolex Master Tournament, which is the Shanghai and also the Cincinnati, and he made all the golden master grand. So that's outstanding achievement. Then he win the US Open on the September. He just rise from the world's 20 seconds to the world number one now. The end of the world number one. It's an amazing achievement. And Andy Murray, 2016, the top man, is just now is because of very serious injury in the back and the hip, and he just fall down to the rank outside the 500s. It's not easy to come back as the jokers, but it tell me something. The old guys still strong, but the young generation now is tend to take place of the old guy. Why? Because now we can see Alexander Zverev and Kashnas and the Tsitsipas and the Dominic Thiem and Zheng Xun and and so on. So many young guys coming out, especially the Kashnas. Kashnas beat jokers in the Paris finals, 2 straight sets. Then the Zverev beat the joker in the World Tour final in the 2 sets. That means the young guys, it's time for young guys to come out and to grab the glorious So I think in the next years, 2019, Roger Federer definitely going to retire because he's too old. It's like 38 years old. It's like the normal people are like 75 years old. You can't just perform like a Grand Slam champion in almost 40 years old. I think Roger Federer is done because he lost like a 7 or 8 match after the French Open. Of course, he didn't join the clean season. He lost his speed. His forehand is not as good as his before, and his moving is slow, and his patience looks like lost, and he got more tempers on it. He's like very easy to strengthen. So I think Roger Federer is going to down next years. I think maybe 2019 is definitely the last year for the great Roger Federer. I will give my best wish to Roger Federer because Roger Federer definitely is the great of all time. Second of all is Rafael Nadal. Is my idol. I'm become the Rafael Nadal's fan for like 13 years already since he rise up in 2005. I'm diehard Rafael Nadal fan, but Rafael Nadal is extremely good right now, But it's a pity he got injury. But if it's not injury, he definitely is the world number 1 at end of the years this year. But you know what? He's so good. Last year he won his 10th French Open and his 3rd U.S. Open, make his Grand Slam champion, reach to the 16. This year he performed very good too in the clean season. He win his 11th unprecedented 11th Monte Carlo ATP Master Grand Slam Master champion. Then he win his 11th Barcelona ATP 500 tournament. Then he win Roma, his 7th Roma crown. Then finally he just win on the top of the Grand Slam on the Roland Garros. He win 11th Undellissima French Open in Roland Garros. This is unbelievable achievement. The French people going to make a statues for him. It's just like a racquet in the Philadelphia Art Museum. Put Rafa's statues, like a corporate statues, in front of the Roland Garros Charlotte center court, in front of the door. It's just like a Michael Jordan in front of Chicago's sports studio. That's glorious. That's great honors for my idol Rafael Nadal. I don't know next year maybe because Rafael Nadal going to go to the 33. Is pretty old now for the Rafa because Rafa is a defense player. He running a lot and his knees definitely is not working anymore. But he's still very strong in his mind. So we know Rafa is fighting the first point to the last point. He's the fighter. He's a warrior. He never give up. So we might expect Rafa is playing very good on the clean season again, but not on the hardcore or on the grass, But this year is pretty awesome. Is Rafa win the Rogers, Rogers, the hardcore master champions. That's amazing, So Rafa maybe still can win a couple champions in the clean. I'm not sure he can win his 12th French Open or not. That definitely is the most crazy things I ever heard. 12 French Open, in the single Grand Slam, win 12. That's just like we can see the God, we can see the Jesus, in the real life. Real life. That's amazing. So talking about the jokers, Novak Djokovic, these guys, Soviet guys is amazing, At the beginning of this season, because his injury on the wrist, he falling down to the to the rank, falling down to the 22nd. He looks like always out in the first round on every tournament. A lot of guys beat him. It looks like he got no hope come back to the top list, but he did come back to the top list very soon from the Wimbledon, because I think the main point match is semi-final, beat, in the 5-set epic battles with Rafael Nadal in almost 5 hours. He beat Rafa finally on the final side. That's just unbelievable match. I think it's the match of the year, and he rise up his confidence. Then he blow away. He win all the champions the rest of season. Of course, he lost in the Paris and the World Tour final, but it's fine. He's unbelievable. He's undefeated. But next year's, I don't think Joker can win that much champion like this year, because you know what? The young generation is rise up. A lot of young guys, they can match up with the Rafa or on the clean, or match up with the Roger on the grass, but they can beat Jokers on the hard court, because Joker is a defense player. He doesn't have too much special weapon. He just hit back every ball. It's just like a war. You play with Joker, it's just playing like a war against the wall. Every ball he can return back, but now no more. Joker is 32 years old next year. He's not fast as Euro. I think definitely he's done next year's. He's going to, his rank goes to fall down again. I think outside maybe top 10, top 20. I'm talking about, the Andy Murray. Andy Murray is my favorite player too. He's a British guy. He's very, easygoing guys. In the 2016, he made the top of the world, world number 1, and win the Wimbledon, and win the Olympic, also win, a lot of champions in 1 year. He's a pride of the British people, but because of injuries, just killing this genius. The Sir Murray, I don't think Sir Murray going to rise up like a Joker this year. Maybe he needed to play some challenge tournaments to recover his confidence. Then maybe he can come back to the top 10, just like Martin Departures. I don't buy he can win the Grand Slam champion anymore. So that's the Big Four. Big Four definitely next year going to falling down. The young generation is definitely going to rise up. That's my point. I think maybe next year, the young guys definitely going to win at least the 3 Grand Slam champions. Left one maybe in the French Open. The Rafa maybe still got a little bit chance to win his 12th Grand Slam. 12 French Open. Okay, that's what I'm predict. I think it's 10 to change. It's 10 for the young guy to take the spar, of the people's, pay attention to. Okay, all right, that's it. Thank you, guys.